Hey, welcome to MixCoach Insider, episode 9.
9, wow.
Yeah, it's getting up there. It's
It
great.
is.
We're almost in the double digits.
Almost to 10.
That's great. Today we've got a tip about acoustic guitar. You're going to talk a little bit about that near the end of the episode.
Okay.
But we've got some announcements. We've got the webinar that we've got going on Thursday.
Right.
Talk a little bit about the idea behind that. We wanted to do some personalized stuff.
Yeah, I kind of felt the need to, I don't know, just kind of, I long to interact with people. I love conversation, and sometimes I feel like the forum is a little bit distant sometimes, and email's a little distant sometimes. So what I wanted to do is just kind of offer, to let people bring their mixes, and let's just, it's kind of an open chat. There's not really going to be a format except for we're just going to start taking questions, and we're just going to have a big old conversation, and hopefully something we can offer, or maybe even some people that are calling in, because the guys that are calling in, I've already seen some of the people on the list. Brilliant minds, brilliant ears. So it's just going to be kind of an open conversation about mixing and do what we can do to mastermind and see if we can make everything better.
Absolutely. I was thinking. It's what's really cool about this one in particular is it's personalized. We've heard from a couple people. It's like let's personalize some stuff. So this is kind of an idea of let's get some personalized help. I mean, if they have questions, if they just want you to listen to a mix, make sure it's on like a SoundCloud account.
Right.
And we'll just hop on SoundCloud and listen to it in real time and give you opinions or
and then what we
thoughts.
may do is when we if we do a repost of the webinar, we'll post a link to the mixes that we listen to in there. That way you can listen to them and kind of because you can't really hear that well on the webinar as far as the mixes, but we'll be able to hear the mixes, and you can be able to hear them at the same time because we'll post them in real time, so you can go listen. We'll just kind of have a moment of silence while we go listen to the mixes, and then we'll just all kind of I think I've heard it called hot seat before. We'll put the mixes on the hot seat, and if you're got thick enough skin to come and listen to mixes. Of course, the people on the forum are so gentle and really good about their opinions, really spot on most all the time. Yeah. And they're really good with words. So bring your mixes and let's listen to them and let's see. And it don't necessarily have to be mixes. It can be strategy. We can talk about whatever you want to, but it's just kind of
we can talk mixing, we can talk editing, we can talk tracking, business. I even mentioned auto repair. We can talk about that.
Bicycles.
Just, gardening.
Guitars.
I'm in for that. Anyway, so another announcement I was gonna mention to you was the site speed. You've been kind of trying to work on speeding up the site, and you and I have been talking about this, and this has been a long, drawn out process this month.
I got tired when you said site speed. I just all of a sudden felt sleepy because for the last 2 weeks. It's taken me away from the forum, and I don't want you guys to think that I've disappeared, because I haven't. I've been working under the hood, behind the scenes, and I've gotten some really good help from some guys here on the forum. There's several brilliant minds here that I didn't realize were web programmers, and I've been getting feedback from them. Ian and a new person named Gene Goodrow, which we'll mention him in a minute. Yep. And then several other people that have led me, in this direction. So I haven't disappeared from the forum. I've been working behind it, and I broke it a couple times accidentally, and some of it was beyond my control. But as of today, I made this announcement last week, but because we went to a brand new host, and it was a terrible experience. It crashed. I'll bet you this website, I don't know if I called you every time that the website crashed, but it must have crashed 30 times in about 3 or 4 days. It was bad. I was losing my mind. Yeah. But anyway, we have switched. We're onto a new server now, which is why the forum was down yesterday and the day before. I think it was kind of in maintenance mode. But I think we got it. I think we got it now. We're still
kind of nervous.
It's a lot faster than it was, and it's almost like it's almost like regular website fast. But I was telling I think I was telling Anders on the chat box over there that I want it to be so fast that you're thinking about something and it just appears on the screen. I don't know how possible that is. I'll have to get Ian and Gene and those guys to help me.
I'm in for that. That sounds great to me.
But we're still working on it, and really, I appreciate you guys. You are so understanding, and I can't tell you how much that means to me. It's awesome that you guys you understand what a process this is. I didn't even know how hard this was going to be. but I've been up till 4 o'clock in the morning several times this past couple of weeks, and 2 and 12, and so thank you. We're getting there.
There's some forum topics. There's one in particular that I wanted to mention. Stone Walters posted this awesome. I thought it was a great idea. I haven't posted on it yet, but I'm I've got in my mind. It's like he is before you say it's done is what it's called. And what he's talking about is before you say the mix is done, before you take it and you throw it over the fence, and it's like before you give it away, what is a mental checklist of here? What do you do? He had the sibilants. He checks the sibilants. Okay, before I turn it in, I just make sure that it's not too sibilant. Before I turn it in, I make sure the overheads aren't too bright and that sort of thing. And then he also mentioned one of the tips that we had. Just smash it. Make sure it's going to sound good on the radio. Smash it with a compressor. And so that's a really cool topic. I thought that was a great idea.
I read a book this past year called The Checklist Manifesto, and I think we've mentioned it before in some podcasts. It's a great book because you talk about we've gone flying before. I like to fly planes, and it makes people nervous sometimes when you pull out a checklist and you start going down the checklist and are the wings still on? Check. Do we have gas? Check. But there's really a lot of comfort in checklists because there's a reason that pilots actually do that. It's because you no matter how much experience you have, you can still miss some big things, and I think this is a great forum topic. And as a matter of fact, why don't we make it a point to everybody jump in on that topic and list something that you always check, and then let's make it an official checklist that we can download and stick up on your monitors.
That'd be great.
Not across your tweeters, because that might hurt your mix. We might need to put on the checklist, remove this checklist from the tweeter. No, but let's do that. Let's make it official before you think it's done. Before you say it's done, right?
Yeah, before you say it's done.
Let's do that. So jump on there and let's make this some fun.
Absolutely. There's a lot of mix critiques going on the forum, so get on that. I mean, just post a mix or get on there, listen to some mixes, comment on a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Just listen to what other people are producing. I think it's great, especially recently, that there's been more people that have been, either had the guts to say, hey, take a listen to this. What is this? What does this sound like to you? And then it's also great to me that we have so many people that are posting about them, that are giving people good feedback.
I think it's great, and I've tried to get on there the last couple of days since I'm, was either at a point of not being able to do anything else on the forum, or just being able to pull up from my work here and comment. But there's some really good mixes going on. I'm really just tickled about the progress of everybody, how they're improving.
Absolutely.
Everybody that I've heard, I haven't heard any mixes that have been worse than the one before. They've all been better. So I think everybody's making good headway.
Absolutely. We've got some new members. We've got quite a few new members since last time. So let's roll through some of these names here. I'm going to take Dennis Reynolds. High five.
Dennis. Yeah, Dennis, I haven't seen you commenting or anything on the website, so we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Hit somebody up on the chat box there on the right hand side of or submit a mix, because when people come in and they just kind of hide in the woodworks, I know that you're not getting the most out of the membership. If you haven't met anybody on the forum, introduce yourself, because there's some really, really cool guys there. Anyway,
Christian Hansen,
right,
and Adam Countryman, Chris Thomas.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you the next two.
Okay. Arnold Eats. Welcome everybody. I know we're not just glazing over these names. We're really honestly happy that you guys are here. Joseph Piccioni. Joseph, I've been talking to you so much, but I have never had to say your last name, so feel free to give me a hard time. It's either Piccioni or Piccioni.
I was trying to figure out where you were from so we could maybe find out what it would be, and the double C in there is confusing to me. But that's just me, so I'm not good with names.
So you have to phonetically spell it out for us. Dan Camarchero. Welcome everybody. Eric Uliet. I think I'm saying that right, Eric. And Gene Goodrow. Gene is one of the guys that I mentioned that's a web ninja, and I'm just so glad to have. It feels like a support team almost of guys that are helping me with the website. You're patient, but you're also brilliant when it comes to user interface. Which I know this is not on the list of stuff that we said we wanted to talk about, but I honestly, I'm really want this to be. We were talking about this yesterday. I really want it to be a good experience when you come on MixCoach. And I know that the forum slowing down was kind of a bummer. And I've got a couple ideas and I wanted to run by you. I know we haven't talked about this. I wonder, does everybody have a SoundCloud account? Do you have one?
I just created one yesterday.
You just created one yesterday. I've got one too. And I would kind of like to have an official page to post your mixes on instead of them being in a forum. To actually have a page that you would go to and have like one of those drop boxes that SoundCloud has, and allow you to link your mix to that player, so that we can listen to all the mixes on one page. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be great.
And be able to comment on each mix individually. I think that'd be awesome. So I guess I said all that to say this: I'm always thinking about how we can speed it up and make this more efficient, because I know most of you guys, or a lot of you guys, are professionals. If not mixers, you're professionals in the music business, or you're professional web designers and stuff like that. So I want to make it. I want us to all get the most out of it the quickest we can. So I'm open to suggestions. If you want to drop me an email, hit me up on the forum or on the wall. How can we do that? And what I'd kind of like to know is there anybody that's really a SoundCloud expert? How can we set that up? So anyway, I know that's off topic, but
that was all I had other than the tip. Let's talk about acoustic guitar. Tell us a little bit about how you would approach an acoustic guitar.
Okay. Funny you should say that. I've got one right here.
I mean,
no, one thing I always do when I'm miking an acoustic guitar is I listen to it. I know that sounds pretty obvious, but sometimes, like certain brands of guitars, like Martins, especially old Martins, especially like D28s, they get boomy, and you can't just throw a mic up in front of them. You have to listen for that spot. I mean, and bluegrass likes it recorded a certain way, folk might like it another certain way, and country and rock, it needs to be another certain way. So first of all, you'd want to listen to the guitar and make sure that it's the right guitar, because if it's a boomy guitar and you're going for a thin 12-string sound, not a good thing. So one of the first things I always do, besides listening to the guitar, is I always get the guy to play the guitar. And then I'll get a good condenser microphone usually, or as good as I have. I hardly ever mic them with a dynamic mic, but I'll get a condenser in cardioid pattern, and I'll usually get the guy to strum, and I'll hold this ear, I'll hold it closed, and then I'll just move my head around the guitar until I find that sound that fits the song.
So one ear. One
ear, because if you think about this, I mean, the most apples to apples way to compare it is your ear is an omnidirectional microphone, basically. You can hear all around your head with one ear. And this ear is an omnidirectional microphone. So if you had an Earthworks in omni mode, it would almost be exactly. And you just cover this ear up, and like if you were to strum, I would move my head, I would put it here, and I would move it in front of the sound hole, and then I would move it up here to the 12th fret. And usually what you'll find is that right here is the most mid-rangey sound, and you get a lot of picks going across the strings. And right here is more of a wispy sound, and right here in front of the sound hole is a real boomy sound. So sometimes you just want to, you kind of got several places to mic it if you're going to mic it from the surface of the guitar. So I hardly ever mic an acoustic stereo. But if I do, I've got a little Rode XY microphone, the NT5, and I'll put it right in front. But then again, it's kind of hard to match your ear up with the stereo mic because you've got them going in different directions. It usually, if you mic it stereo, you have to back it off a little bit more. One other thing that you can do too is to pull the mic up by the musician's ear. I know that's a crazy way to do it, but usually the musician plays to this ear usually. Usually a guitar player is doing this, and this ear kind of determines on how hard they play during a song. So you can do that. My personal preference, I hardly ever do that. What I usually do, just to cut to the chase, I usually put a cardioid mic about at between the 12th and 15th fret, looking in at the sound hole. That's usually a good combination for me. And then if I stereo mic it, I'll use that mic and one here. So that's I actually learned that from a famous bluegrass player named Tony Rice. He's one of the best acoustic guitar players that I've ever worked with, and that's the way we mic'd his guitar, and it was amazing. So anyway, I hope that helps. And if you've got any ideas, or how do you mic a guitar, let me know. So,
well, that's it for the episode.
Wow, that was it?
Yeah.
I don't know how long it is, but thank you guys for coming. And again, if you've got any suggestions, there is a place in the dashboard at the bottom that has bugs and suggestions of things. So click that and help me keep tabs on the site, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. And thank all the new members, thank all the older members. We enjoy you being here. So we'll see you next time.